In this video, we're going to be talking about how to create scatter plots. On your worksheet, there's a lot of blanks when it comes to this table, so please fill those in right now. Okay. When we're making a scatter plot, we kind of focus more on this first quadrant. Okay. Two things that we're looking at are time and how much times are red. Okay. But when we're creating that, we do need to label and put numbers on here. So the first thing we're going to do is label our X and Y axis. So like I said in the last video, time is always going to be your X variable, the one that we really don't have any control over. So down here, we're going to have time. So please write that down on your paper. And then on this side, it's going to be Y, page is red. Okay. Now we need to look at both of these intervals. And we need to see, okay, where does it start? So where does it start? We need to look for the smallest one. This one, we're actually going to start at 0, just because they're so close together. So 0 would be here. And then intervals of 0.5, since there are in the decimal, and it will fit on our graph. So each line is 0.5. So this one, 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5. Then we look at our y's. We have to start at 0 because that's what we started at 0 here. Then we need to figure out our intervals. It would not make sense to go at 0.5 intervals. We will have to go up a little bit faster. So we're going to go up by 50. So each line is 50. So 100, 200, 3, 5. Okay. Then we start plotting these. They're not easy to plot, so you're going to have to just kind of round and like estimate. Okay, so for this first one, we're going to 3.4, 275, and then keep going with all of those. Notice mine are plotting here. Okay. What type of correlation is this? It's a positive correlation. Okay. Now turn the page. Okay. We have a little broken axis. Okay. It's a symbol to show that we are not starting at 0. It's used when the lowest value on an axis is much higher than 0 and when the values of the data are clustered close together. Okay, so on the second page, you'll notice your X's are not filled in. Please fill those in. Then we already have this set up over here. You need to fill out this part. And then we start plotting those 1, 2, 3, 4 points. This is how it should look. It should have a positive correlation. And then notice how none of them are in this part. Okay, that little means a break, that from 0 to about like 65, there's no data here. It's all after. That's a break on the x-axis. This one will be a break on the y-axis. Notice how we have the little squiggle right there. You're going to be filling in your y's in your chart and the y's on the axis there. You're going to plot those points. Notice that this whole thing off limits, none of them are there. This right here, off limits, no points are there. They don't get down to this point. Okay, so if you ever see a little squiggle, that means it's kind of scrunched up because none of our data is down here. Let's look at the next example. Okay, we have years and SUVs. Just like the last one, we do need to start by labeling. Year is going to be our X. SUV sales percentage will be our Y. So then we have to label, write year down here. Then write SUVs sale here. Okay. We're going to figure out where we start. We start at 2006. We go up a year. Please make sure you're labeling and writing this down on your paper. And then for the y-axis, notice how I have to scrunch it up a little bit because we're starting at 40. So there is no data below 40. So that's why I put the little squiggle here. And then we start going up so we can see all of our data points clearly. Then we're going to plot our points. So we'll plot this point, which goes right here. Next point, right here. Third point, right around here. Next point, going down a little bit, right here. Next point is right here, and the last point, right here. And that's how you would make a scatter plot. You would label your axis and then plot your points.